Well, there we are live today with Small Business Connect Online Radio. Like going towards the end of the year, things seem to be slowing down also in terms of our connections on the internet, because our presenters are not both online now, although Nsiki will speak to you just now. Welcome everyone, signing in now. I see Herman Tefu, our other co-presenter, is messaging us, so it must be from Port Elizabeth. There must be kind of a clink in the line to get us all going here this evening in talking all things relating to small business and growing your business in South Africa. So welcome everyone. I'm Christoph Oosthuizen, the publisher of Small Business Connect, and while Herman is trying to connect, I'll lead us into today's show. We've got quite a few interesting things lined up for you. We've got a special guest. In fact, unfortunately, due to circumstances, the person that we wanted to be talking about starting an idea-driven business and turning that into a success is not able to join us, but we've got a capable replacement in talking about the risk and reward game. The normal lineup that we have in terms of covering news and events and things that we've covered in the newspaper, we will of course cover today, and our news editor Nabila is here today to do that for us. I will later on in the show speak a bit about the book review that we've done, and Kubani will give us his usual finance wisdom in terms of what we can do to improve our businesses through what we do around money issues. So, Nsiki, if I can ask you to maybe unmute yourself and guide me here. I'm of course not a normal co-presenter. I'm standing in for Herman while he's reconnecting to our broadcast here. Nsiki, how are you up in Johannesburg today? By the way, I'm sitting in Cape Town.
Hi, Christoph. How are you doing tonight?
In fact, you know, we had such a wonderful summer's day. I just came out of the pool in Cape Town. It is really summer. We've been waiting for a while now for it to arrive.
I think in Joburg we've had a very confused week, and we kind of have all the seasons in one day. So it's really good to have that sun out shining for a good period of time. I know it was raining all weekend this side, so it's nice to have the sun out.
Yeah, so I'll be leaning on you now, since I see I just got a message here from Herman that he is struggling on his side. So this is of course the reality of us using this platform. It is such an accessible way of connecting everyone. However, we may experience these kind of intermittent problems due to bandwidth issues. And I suppose that is one of the things that I would put. We're going to talk about the colloquium of small business and what was discussed in terms of what can help small businesses to grow. I think I would put on top of my list good internet access. So I'm putting my wishes to the mast already here in terms of what we're going to discuss about later. But yes, so hopefully Herman will join us later. So Nsiki, you must. I'm not so aware now exactly where we are in the show. Are we going to get Nabila? Are we going to talk to Nabila now about the news coverage, or what would be up next?
So what we'll do now is we will bring on Nabila to discuss the master plan, which is a very interesting topic, as well as tell us what's happening in the news every week. So it's all over the place. Nabila, are you there?
Hi, sorry, I just lost connection for a few minutes, but can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you fine now, thanks.
Yes, I can. Well,
okay, that's better. Okay, so if I heard you correctly,
thank you for joining us, Nabila. I think Nabila's
can you hear?
moving there a little bit. Chris, a little bit during Global Entrepreneurship Week.
It looks like the internet is conspiring against us tonight. Nabila, can you speak?
Yes.
Okay, now we hear you. Now we hear you clearly.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So so just to start off with, we led with our top story was no agency rating for small businesses. Basically, what the story was about is that there's a proposal by the Department of Trade and Industry to take over the verification process in the BE space, and this could make starting a business easier and cheaper. So for more on that, you can just go onto our website, www.smallbusinessconnect.co.za. Then, as Christopher was saying earlier, one of the stories we covered was the master plan for small businesses. There was a colloquium held, which was attended by Kobani. The colloquium was held in Gauteng, and it was a partnership between the National Small Business Institute and the Department of Small Business Development. They were seeking to create a plan to address challenges that small businesses face. So watch that space for more on
Nabila,
what will emerge.
Can we maybe ask Kobani to just share what his experience was in attending that event? And that, of course, also leads us into the question that we want to ask today. If you can type into the comments section what you believe the top 3 priorities should be in terms of this master plan that is being developed. Kobani, you were at the 2-day, I think it was 2 days, eh? How long was the event?
Well, the event was actually 3 days, eh? Was it 3 days? Wow. I can't remember now. Yes, it was 3 days, and because the first 2 days there were deliberations, and then the last day it was more kind of a report back of what was happening during the past 2 days. So, well, it was a good kind of, if I can call it, conference, and there were a couple of issues that were discussed. But my problem, though, is that it is the same old stuff that we've been talking about over the past years, nothing new. But the main thing that was, pushed forward this time around was that there needs to be urgency now in terms of getting things done, and there must be a radical economic transformation, and then things like that. But personally, I think we sort of were speaking on issues that has been there before. But now I'm looking forward to see, because they were supposed to give out now a comprehensive report in terms of what came out of the colloquium, just to see what's new.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. So what would be your top 2 or 3 points after having 2 days of discussions about what should the priorities be?
Well, you see, the main thing was that, there was a feeling that there is not much support in terms of black businesses, because that word black business came out often, and then people felt like, there's not much being done to empower black businesses, and there was the issue around access to finance, which has been there before, and then there was around access to finance, there was even a suggestion that, why DFIs have to charge interest, because they're supposed to be funding businesses without charging any interest, and yeah, so, and procurement as well. There were conflicting positions, others saying, government through procurement should, put set asides for black businesses. So
So you complain about other people rambling on, and so now I can interrupt you. And, my question to you, Kobani, was, by the way, what your top 3 would be. So, by the way, I can be so upfront with Kobani because I share office with English people.
My Actually,
let's leave it at that if you kind of afraid to put it out.
yeah, well, my top three will be on the first thing. Obviously, is business support. There needs to be more budget for it, targeted procurement, as they said, and then the chambers should play a bigger role in supporting small businesses. That is now based on what was discussed there.
Yeah. Okay, so Carl, Chetiwe, Dylan, everyone else that's on that have signed into to our call tonight, you can say whether you agree by typing into the chat what you believe your three top priorities should be in terms of a small business growth plan for our country. But I see that Nabila has dropped off. It really looks like the evening of the bad internet today. But Herman is back. So, Herman, I'm not sure how you would like to proceed from here since our news editor has disappeared. Are you back now, Herman?
Good evening, and I don't know if you guys can hear me properly.
We can hear you perfectly.
Great, thank you very much. The internet gods are smiling in PE today. So thank you very much, Chris. Look, I've been listening to what Kobani has been saying, and one thing that he said earlier on, and it was also quite a cautious thing from my side, not to be negative. It was, haven't we heard or seen this before? What new improvements will this bring to the table? So hopefully with more involvement from entrepreneurs and the business community, we can actually try and come up with a really genuine master plan. Like I said, I don't want to be negative, but you've seen them all, unless something really magical comes up to the party. And I'm optimistic, so I'm hoping that this one will be the one that will help us move forward. Sorry for missing the first part of the show. I will introduce myself, Herman. Thank you very much to our guests tonight, and also our condolences. I heard that Tabani Zulu suffered a death in the family, so condolences from our side to his family. And Bongi Web from Risk and Reward will be chatting to Ntsiki a bit later on in the show. Ntsiki, are you back? Is
Hi,
your internet
Herman.
working fine tonight?
Yes, it is. I'm glad to have you online.
Great, cool. So I missed the first part of the show, so I don't know if you have done the first round of greeting our guests tonight, or should we just move on to the next part of our show?
Yeah, you see, Evan, we're not the professional
Yes.
radio guys, so we kind of stumbled along in your absence. But no, Nabila was discussing the news events, and I'm not sure, Nabila, if you would like to come back into continuing just kind of briefly what we've been covering in the newspaper in the past month. And with that, I'll hand it back to you to deal with, Herman. So I'll switch on the screen again, and
Hi, Nabila.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear
All right,
me?
cool. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so just before I was just rudely interrupted by my system. The success stories we covered in the November edition, we covered the two sisters who started a natural and organic beauty product manufacturing business called Olive. And they also won the 1 million rand investment in the Standard Bank Think Big Challenge reality TV series. You might have seen that on SBC in September. So they beat 11 other contestants to win the top prize. Just moving on to our community page, we've gone to featuring, we've gone to actually giving our readers more coverage in the newspaper. We featured 3 readers of the month, and there are some really interesting things to say. Reader of the month, Salerian Kapa said, I was inspired by the stories in Small Business Connect and started reading the newspaper every month. Then Jacob Mashalani said, I realized how useful the content was. Sorry. Let's go to the Sinzili. He said, what I like about the newspaper is that it features real stories about real people, and that's the content I use to deliver talks. Jacob Mashalani said, I realized how useful the content was. It connects me to other business people and relevant information. And he is the owner of Massive Group, a marketing business. And that's it from my side.
Cool. Thank you very much, Namila. Once
So
again.
Tonight we
Sure, carry on. I think Nabila has disappeared.
No, I'm here.
Oh, he's still here.
Can you hear me?
Sure, carry on.
No. Maybe you should introduce our special guest this evening.
Oh, cool. No, thank you very much. My final ask you to become a reader of the month. Please share that with us, and I promise from the next show I'm not going to ask you. I think some of our guys will know that by now. Okay. Yeah, Nabila, can you hear me?
I think I've lost connection. To become a reader of the month, you need to send us an email to newsdesk@smallbusinessconnect.co.za with a photograph of yourself that is bigger than 1 megabyte and your contact details.
Cool. Thank you very much.
In the next edition of Small Business Connect.
Cool. Thank you very much, Nabila.
Thanks so
and
much.
I think one of our guests tonight is Marcel. He apparently is busy. He's in the tech world, so we're gonna say hello quickly to Marcel. Marcel, good evening.
Hi, how's it?
Right, thanks yourself.
Okay, man. Not so much in the tech world, but I dabble and I work with you guys in the tech, so that's fun.
Cool. As in small business connect. Great to meet you, by the way.
Yeah. No, I'm the guy who makes sure that the code holds up and that the website keeps itself together. So currently looking how many people we have reading the websites and what people are looking at and how many people we've got on the radio show. So yeah, it all seems to be working.
Oh, so you're the guy that actually updates the content, the back end of it. Just tell me, how big is the size of a website? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you that question.
It's small. I mean, content-wise, we've got, I'll have a look now as it opens up, several hundred posts, but it's run quite simply. It's not a particularly difficult website to run, thank goodness. I'll say that the vast majority of the work is done by the reporters and by the editor, and I just make sure that there's a space for those articles to be posted, and then it goes automatically to Facebook and Twitter and those things. I see we've got 520 articles published in a year, just over a year.
Jeez. And as more and more content gets uploaded, do we actually require more space to go with? We're just playing a lot with text, so audio, it's saved on YouTube's bandwidth or hard drive, whatever it is. So
Yeah,
we just,
I mean, most of it is the text doesn't use a lot of data. In fact, we had a conversation with our host a couple of weeks ago. Christoph will remember this, saying, "Well, should we be looking out to make sure that we have enough bandwidth?" And they looked at their account. They said, "It's fine. You won't have to worry for a while." So we're not using it in sort of space-wise, but these days the space is inexpensive and it's really easy to use. We just make sure that the code is working and that there's no hackers trying to get in and destroy the content or people spamming the comment section, and that all seems to be working.
Now, remember the whole issue back ago, or years ago, the Y2 bug. I mean, someone hacked into the SBC website. What are the chances of that?
Well, I wouldn't want to say how well we protected it or not, but we take.
We are protected.
We're protected, and we take standard precautions, and there's the important thing to remember is that there's no particularly important user information on there anyway. So even if somebody did hack in, we'd be up and running within an hour, just restore from backup. So, but that's the idea these days. You've got to make sure that your online infrastructure is easy to maintain, and that you're not putting in such heavy technical investment that if somebody does hack into it, it takes you days and hours to get back up and running. We can run back up within an hour or two.
Yeah. So content is our game, is our business. So we need to make sure that any issues that affects that flow of information gets remedied very quickly, and then we're back online, as you say.
Yeah, it's not all that dissimilar from print publishing in terms of making sure that your content is laid out correctly and spelling and that sort of stuff. But that's mostly done by the journalists, and I just make sure that there's a framework around the website to make sure it's running. And it's a framework that any small business owner can use. It's open source, so you don't have to pay for it, and most web hosts will load it onto your website, so you can run about over 50% of the websites in the web are now run by WordPress, which is the system we use.
Cool. Look, final question from my side then, Marcel. The future. Almost said Network Radio TV. Small Business Connect TV. The future, let's say there's a seminar or a business workshop run by Christopher Kobani, financial, whatever. We want to live stream the video on our website. I mean, what's the possibility of that in the future?
Oh, it's very possible. In fact, I'm 99% certain, short of having actually run it live with an audience like tonight, that we could run it through the exact same system that we're using now, which is a combination of Webinar Jam and Google+. I believe the technology is robust enough to handle it, as long as we have a stable internet connection, which I think is going to get better over the next year or two. But yeah, I mean, there's also a couple of small immediate changes coming around. So, for example, on the Small Business Connect website, shortly we'll open up a directory that any of the readers can put an ad in there into the directory, so that they can say where they're from, what business they do, what their contact details are. And then we'll have a time period that they can run that ad for free of charge. And then if they wish to continue, then they can either renew or they pay a subscription to be on the directory in a featured slot. But what it means is that you as a reader or as a website visitor will be able to add your business to the directory, so that other people who are in the same area or in the same industry will be able to find your contact details and then connect.
Awesome. I love it. I love the online game. Christopher will tell you, it allows one to be creative and push the boundaries and bring new elements to sharing content and getting involved. So.
But more importantly, it allows us to have a conversation like tonight, where we're all using pretty much the same technology, and we can have a couple of dozen people in conversation with us and learning from us sharing this information. And that's really the point behind the whole website, ultimately, is to have South African small business owners find the information that they need on the website, and then connect and comment back and tell us what they enjoyed and what their questions are.
All right, cool. So let's put it out there to the listeners or the viewers tonight. If you have any questions regarding our website, pose them to Marcel. Marcel, can we just share your email address, or do we then use the normal info at Small Business Connect? And then
use the info. You can also post on the side of the in the chat window here, and I can see it and read through that. Otherwise, send a message through the website, and then it'll come through the proper channels to me, and I can look at that. But more importantly, comments on the articles themselves. That's particularly useful.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Marcel.
Cool.
Alrighty. Let me just ask the team, Christoph, Kobani, Nabila, and Ziki, any questions for Marcel?
Marcel, where are you tonight? Because you're amazing.
Well, okay, so I'm using a 4 megabit per second line, uncapped. I don't have anything else running at the moment, but I think I may just be lucky today because I've had months and months of issues, and the last 2 weeks since I've had my line checked by a technician has been stunningly smooth. As long as I stand right where I am now.
That's fantastic. You have the magic fingers and the magic connection, and we love it. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Okay, so coming up, we still have our finance tip, and later on, and we comment on what you think the top are. So please do comment on that on the side. Tonight we do have a special guest joining us, Ubongiwe Shongwe of Risk and Reward. Bongiwe, are you there?
Yes, Nsiki, I'm here. Can you hear me, Nsiki?
Good evening. Yes, I can.
Yes, you are breaking.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Bongiwe.
Thank you.
So you have had this really great idea and turned it into a board game. And most people would find that really unexpected. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
You are right about people finding it a bit unexpected and something that one wouldn't think of at all. But if you've been in our shoes, especially when we go to schools to teach kids accounting, because we have CSI initiatives where we go to schools and we teach kids accounting, you would realize that one, they find it extremely boring. It's an elitist subject. It's a subject that they cannot find themselves enjoying because it's so boring. It's just number crunching and everything. And when you teach them and you look in their faces and you realize that, you know what, these people are bored to death, you then think of other innovative ways of engaging them and making them enjoy and understand the language of accounting better. That's how exactly the game came to be about. As we were moving around, hello?
Yes, continue.
As we were moving around teaching kids in various schools, we basically realized that they are not enjoying the subject. And then you think of games you play at home, your Monopoly, your Scrabble, and so forth. And you see how engaged those games are and how interactive they are and how enjoyable they are by kids. If you want your kids to know English, you just put Scrabble in front of them. You play it on a daily basis. Their English improves. We thought, why don't we do the same with accounting? Make it enjoyable, make it a group game, make it something that kids feel attached to and want to play on a daily basis. So that's how the game came to be.
That's really fantastic. I think it's a really great idea considering the pass rate that matrics have in terms of subjects such as accounting and science and mathematics. So it would be really great to have something like this expand to the other subjects as well. Is that something that would be in the pipeline in future?
Right now, we've developed a game for grade 10 to 12, which is accounting senior. We're working on accounting junior from grade 7 to grade 9. We're thinking of also looking at business subjects because we are a company that deals mainly with business and accounting. Other business subjects where we will be developing games that sort of teach your entrepreneurs how to run their businesses and to enjoy learning how to run their businesses. So yeah, we are looking at subjects, but specifically subjects that have to do with your finance and accounting and business.
That's really great. I really think it's a great alignment to a product as well as the service that you offer as Risk and Reward. And I really hope that it does continue to inspire young people, especially the ones that you referred to be interested and proactive in business and doing their accounting and so forth. Just to get an understanding, is this board game available online area downloaded?
Hello, Nsiki, I couldn't hear you. You're breaking.
Hi, Bongiwe. I think if I can just come in there, I think her question was centered around the availability of the board game. Is it available online, or is it only just hard copies that are out there in the market?
It's hard copies. I'll tell you why we made it hard copies. If it's available online, you're limiting it to people who only have access online and to computers and so forth. We want it to be as widely available, right down to your rural school that has absolutely no internet access at all. So yeah, at the moment it is hard copies.
And in future to go online?
If you?
In the future, any plans to go online with the game?
Yes, we do have plans to go online with the game.
All right, and then regarding, you know how you start something and then someone will try and do a carbon copy. Has the game been patented?
The game has been patented. Luckily, within the company, we have lawyers as well. So it's been patented, copyrighted. So it belongs wholly to risk and reward.
And then the process there to patent it, was it a daunting task for you guys, or was it just like quick in and out type of thing?
Not really daunting, because exactly as I've said, we have a lawyer in-house who's done these things quite a number of times, who's also established relations with people that actually do this kind of things. So it wasn't a very daunting process. But I can imagine for a business person who doesn't have this in-house help, they might find it a bit daunting. So we were lucky to have someone in-house.
Okay, so it's all great and well. You know, entrepreneurs, we all have these funny ideas and weird ideas. You come up with a board game, you and your team, the business model around it, how do you guys make money? Is it through sales, sponsorships from corporates?
We're basically making money through sales for the game. The game is retailing at 850 per box, and it can be played by up to 13 students or people who then form teams. And in each team you can have no more than 3 people, and then you have a referee who also plays as a banker, as a buyer, as a government, and so forth. Yes. So
locally, you're launching it here as a. I haven't read more about your background. In the continent, is it available, or is it just SA for now?
It's South Africa for now, but we are working on getting outside South Africa into your Zimbabwe and so forth. We're planning to make the game international eventually. Of course, taking into I'm saying, of course, taking into account the environment wherever we're going to be launching it externally.
Okay, bringing back to, I think, most of our target market in terms of the viewers and the listeners, small business owners. What's the view or the aim for the game to assist small business owners?
The game is played in a way that you have the beginning where it simulates businesses. So you would come together as a group and you would form a business. At the beginning, you will be loaned money by the bank, something that happens in a business. You will have to take decisions on how many people to employ, if you want to insure your cars and so forth. You know, the types of decisions that are taken by business people. Those decisions that you take are going to determine how you fare as you play the game. And again, it's a game of chance. You land on a spot, and in a spot it says your car has been involved in a car accident. You need now to pay this amount. A person who's taken a decision not to insure the car will then have to pay that amount, whereas the one who has taken the decision to insure their car will be laughing all the way to the panel beater. So it simulates business. It says these are the businesses that you are starting. You are not just working as a silo business. You are working in an environment where the environment changes as the business continues. So in a way, it sort of teaches them. You know, when you think of children at school learning accounting, the ideal way to do it would be to have a tuck shop where those kids go into the tuck shop, sell at the end of the month, they come and do their reconciliation and so forth. But it doesn't necessarily happen, and it would be a daunting task for that to do. So we are saying, let the game simulate the actual environment of business. So that's how your business people will be learning how to run their businesses. At the end of the month, of course, they'll have to balance their books, they'll have to report to their directors why the business has done the way that it has done, and so forth.
And you said the 13 players plus a referee. Is the referee the taxman in this instance?
It's 12 players plus a referee. So all in all, it's 13 players, yes. The 13th player is a taxman. He's the government. He's the buyer. He changes rules as the game continues. He's the banker. He's everything, and he's supposed to be. And he's supposed to be. Hello.
Yeah, Kieran.
And he's supposed to be making sure as well that the players are following the rules as they are tabled out in the game.
I'm sure he's not the popular guy in the game.
Not at all.
On a serious note, how has been how has the game been taken up by business owners?
We've had feedback from 3 big businesses so far who've honestly been raving about the game and sort of saying, you know what, when I started my business, my idea was that I'm just going to be selling my flowers. I did not take into cognizance the environment. I did not take into cognizance the changing things around the business of flowers and so forth. So we've had 3 businesses that have given us good feedback. It's the Orchida florist. We have the design business that's run by a doctor. We also have a research school that's within a university. So those diverse businesses have sort of played the game, let their staff members play the game as well. And they've said it has taught them a lot, especially when it comes to making decisions and reflecting and seeing how those decisions have affected the running of your business.
Business development organizations, have you approached them or have they approached you guys in the view of bringing your game into one of the programs that they do?
We have approached them, the business support units. I guess that's what you're talking about, your CDAS, your NYDA. Yes, we have approached them. We're in the process of negotiating with them. We've also approached business people as well to say, support the small businesses. I'm talking about the big businesses now, to say support the small businesses, let them acquire this game so that they are able to use it to build their businesses. So yes, we've approached. We're also thinking of approaching banks as well, because they do give support to small businesses, to say when you give them funding, let it include the game as well, so that they go and play it.
If you just tuned in or joined us, we're chatting to Bongi. We're from a Risk and Reward, a business board game or financial board game that is available here in. And talking about availability there, Bongi, where can people buy the game?
At the moment, we are in negotiations with retailers. It's not in retail stores yet. But if you go into our website, which is www.riskandrewardac.co.za, you can click there and order the game, and it gets delivered straight to your door.
Cool. And then I think lastly from my side there, Bongi, what's the future for Risk and Reward? What's next for you guys?
Risk and Reward is not just about the game, Herman. It's a business that is there to support business people as well as students. So we have our academic as well as our business support products. So we're going to be moving beyond the game. How the business stemmed about? It stemmed from a CA who discovered 2 things basically: that we need to make accounting a subject that is accessible and enjoyable. And number 2 is the realization that in South Africa, we are being pushed into having our own businesses instead of being employees. So marrying those 2, we've come up with products and solutions. One, academic products, where we are saying, let's teach our entrepreneurs right from the beginning. Don't wait for a person to go and apply at the bank and say, I need to buy this business, for you to then teach them how to run the business. Teach them accounting right from grade 7 all the way to grade 12. And then once you've taught them and you are comfortable that they are comfortable with the subject of accounting, move on now into supporting them as business people. So we have a lot of offerings for businesses. We've just finished a product that is a business planner, where they just punch in information when they're applying for a loan at the bank. We've also brought together a product or a solution where we have a business center supporting them in IT, in marketing, in HR, and so forth. So we are moving forward. We are saying, let's not end with the game. Let's move on to now say, we've taught you the basics. Now we want to develop you further as a business person, not necessarily an accountant.
Awesome. Bongiwe, thank you very much. I think that's it from my side. Let me bring in Ziki. I think she has a question to ask before we wrap up the chat with you. Hi, Ziki.
Hi, how to the schools? How do you then check they begin with the board game and run through that?
Okay, can someone tell me what Ziggy is saying exactly? Again, he's breaking. She's breaking. Hello?
Yes. I also missed that. Ziggy, you want to try it again, maybe?
Yes. How do you track the progress of which do play the board game and how it affects their school?
Ziggy, let me make a suggestion. Hi, Ziggy, let me make a quick suggestion for you there. Pop it on WhatsApp and then I'll ask Bongiwe. Let me bring in a finance guru. Kobani, do you want to ask Bongiwe a question or two?
Yes, I've been waiting. Hi, Bongiwe.
Hi, Kobani. Kobani, before you ask, just know one thing. I'm just an MD who knows very little about numbers. Hello?
No. I'm not going to ask it.
Hello, Kobani?
I think Kobani's as well. Connection is a bit wonky there. Just try it again, Kobani.
All right. My question is, I had a client that I worked with.
Yes.
A very creative person.
Yes.
But the problem is she can't read numbers at all. I had a problem now. I had to explain the income statement to her because she didn't understand what it means. Now I can break it down as simple as possible, but still she couldn't get it. At the end, she just said to me, "Can't you just draw pictures of all these things? Maybe I will understand." And then for me now, I couldn't understand how am I going to draw pictures that are going to, show her this is the income statement. Now, can this game assist in such an instance where somebody just don't understand figures? It just needs pictures to be drawn so that they can understand.
The thing is, the game would be enjoyed by a person who has some understanding of accounting, basically from grade 10 to grade 12. But the nice thing about it is that although it requires someone with that background, we also have a dummy guide within the game where, as you are playing the game, especially if you are not accounting inclined, you refer to this dummy guide. In a way, it's your tutor. It teaches you how to do an income statement, a balance sheet, and so forth. But ideally, the game is enjoyed by somebody who has some understanding of accounting.
Oh, okay. So there needs to be an understanding.
A little bit of some understanding of accounting, yes.
Okay.
Cool. Bongiwe, thank you very much for your time. And just to wrap up, can you just share with us your contact details where people can get hold of you?
Okay. Our telephone number is 031 201 0770. My email address or the business email address is info@riskandrewardac.co.za, and you can also find us at the site www.riskandrewardac.co.za.
Bongiwe, thank you very much for your time once again, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Awesome. That was Bongiwe, our guest for tonight from Risk and Reward. Check it out, riskandrewardac.co.za for more information there. It's one of those tools that are needed that will contribute greatly, giving our kids, our business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs tools that they can use in making better decisions or improving their decision-making abilities. Moving on right along with the show, 15 minutes after 8, we bring in the, let me just go to Chris quickly before we go into the finance tip, because I think we'll end up with the finance tip, something that will give us, get us inspired on how to punch in the 1+1 properly. Christoph.
Yes, I'm here.
The book review, I didn't ask you earlier, what have you been reading the last month? I envy you, because every month you read a new book. Where do you find the time?
No, more than one.
There you just made it worse. You just made it worse. So.
By the time that that we actually get to review to talking about the review I did for the newspaper, it is kind of 2 or 3 months since I actually reviewed the book. And you remember last time I couldn't get hold of the book by the time that we were speaking about it, so I had to kind of rely on my memory to do that. But today I want to talk about a book called Built to Sell.
Mm-hmm.
So can you guess what that is about?
Well, I can tell you, it's creating a business that thrives without you.
Yeah, you read the subtext, yes. In fact, I first got to know about John Warrilow very early on in my work with small businesses. He's Canadian, and he's been working in this field of supporting small businesses for quite some time. So he is authority. He speaks with authority about what it takes to build a business that can, in fact, last beyond your own involvement in it. Now, the thing is, what I've learned, and this he also found in his work, that business owners often start a business with the idea that they're going to do the stuff that they really love doing. They go out, launch the business, and want to create a space for them to really practice those things that they're passionate about. But guess what? Soon they find that what they're busy doing from a day-to-day is not that stuff that they're passionate about, but the stuff that the business demands of them. And they kind of find that they employ themselves in a job that they don't really want. Some other business owners, of course, find that they can create that space for them to actually do the stuff that they love. But they can't take a holiday because the business is so dependent on them. If they would be sick, the business would be sick. You know, sort of. So that's really not the ideal situation to be in, just from the perspective of running a healthy business. But then what Warrilow in this book tells us is that if you want to have a healthy business, it is good to think about that business as a business that you would like to sell. So even if you don't think of selling it, just to plan for the business to be sellable would guide you in making it a better business. And then, in fact, when you perhaps think that you are building your business as an asset that you want to sell one day as part of your retirement plan, or something that you would like to hand over to the next generation, that you'll be able to do so because you've started doing it early on. You don't wait for that time that you actually want to exit. You start building your business from early on as a business that is sellable. And he's got 17 tips that he gives. I'm not going to run into all of those tips, but there are some interesting ones. So the obvious one is that you need to be able to divorce yourself from the day-to-day operations of the business so that the business can keep going without you. And that means that you need to formalize things in certain ways in terms of staff or other people that are involved in the business. But then one that I find very interesting is that he says that even in service businesses, we should be looking at productizing what we do. In other words, standardize your offering so that you don't, when each time you sign up a new client or you get a new project or a new job, that you need to kind of start from scratch in terms of designing what it is that you need to do. If you want a business that runs smoothly and that is eventually sellable, you need to do it in such a way that you kind of, even if you do services, even if you offer services, that you do it in a way that's a standard offering. And in that way, your business can, of course, you can guide your business into running smoothly much easier. There are also many other tips that he gives. In fact, sort of I recommend this book for anyone that runs their own business, even if you don't plan to sell. It's not a difficult read. They also have some online tools and so on. In fact, at one point they were asking me to look at whether we could customize that tool for the South African market. Sort of it is at the moment geared towards the Canadian American markets and some European markets, but still worth the read. So yes, I would say if you run your own business, run it in a way that you are building it as if you're going to be selling it, even if you don't plan to sell it.
But then that brings in growth. I mean, you got to be able to trust people, hand over certain tasks within the company, especially when you start it on your own. Otherwise, you end up, what do you call it? What's the word that I'm looking for now? Killing the business, for lack of a better word. Handing over. That's a big.
Yes. So a lot of entrepreneurs starting out don't trust other people, don't want to hand over the stuff, and end up kind of overworking themselves and limiting the growth potential of the business. So to see the value of you not being involved in every little step of the business, not just as something that frees you to kind of actually be able to go on the holiday, but something that is going to allow your business to grow into something much bigger than what you would be able to do if you had your finger in every single pie. I think that's a very important point to keep in mind.
Cool. Anything else? I mean, you're not selling the book yourself. You got your own book. I should be asking you, where can you get your own book?
Yeah, I can't really review my own book, but maybe you can get someone else to review my book. My book is called Results. It was launched on Thursday, so I'm still very much thriving in the energy of at my launch. Yes. It was launched on Thursday in Cape Town at the business school. We had some speakers. In fact, the title of the book is called Results: How to Succeed in a Fast-Changing World with a One-Page Business Plan. And it's all about that, sort of that if you want to move forward today, you can't get stuck into writing thick 30-page business plans. You need a tool that allows you to move forward quickly. And the Flow Canvas, which is the business plan tool that is described in that book too, is a tool that allows one to do that. We can maybe at some other point talk a bit more about what the Flow Canvas is, but there is a website that, in fact, Marcel helped us build that website too, called, or the address of that site is flowcanvas.com. So, but until the time that we have the opportunity to speak in more depth about that, there's a wealth of information there about how this thing works on that website, flowcanvas.com.
Can I put you on the spot there, Chris? I mean, next year when we're back, obviously we've got one more show, depending on how things go for the year. Next year, can we talk about, and we can bring in Kobani, and Tiki and Nabila as well can contribute to this, talk about the difference between a one-page business plan and that 30, 40, 90-page business plan? Because I'll tell you why, when we pitched a few years ago, this bunch of venture capitalists says, no, our business plans, they're about 90, 100 pages long. We're like, really? And you come now, this is a one-page business plan. So can we look into that next year?
Yes, it's indeed a topic that we should be talking about more. And as Marcel commented earlier, this platform that we have through the Google Hangouts really allows us to reach out to audiences across, in fact, not only across the country, across the world. So we can definitely look at how we make space available. In fact, on Facebook recently, we asked, would people want to join a online training? And the overwhelming response was yes, we would. If you have an hour-long or 90-minute-long training session that you host online, we would join. So those are all things that will come in 2015, we hope.
Awesome. Thank you very much there, Chris. Let me hand over to Ntsiki. He should be chatting to our finance guru.
Can I ask Christoph a question first before going?
Sure.
Christoph, does the book give advice to some of us who are perfectionists in terms of, for you to be able to delegate effectively, you need to be okay, even if the thing is not done 100% perfect the way you want it. At least you can maybe live with 80% or 95% of it. Does it also give, in terms of tips or ideas, how to try overcome that sense of being a perfectionist?
Yes. So one of the key elements of success is that you need to understand the balance between your capacity to deliver value and the opportunities that you pursue. So you often find that people that are like engineers, sort of that are more perfectionist in nature, try to over-design, or they try to have the perfect product, and therefore they focus on their capacity. They keep increasing their capacity, but they don't pursue the opportunities so much. And then you find other people that are more like marketers, who keep on connecting with new people, but they neglect to develop the proper systems for their business. And as a result, they have a lot of failures, and they get a lot of clients that they lose. They can't understand why it is that they need to recruit new clients all the time. So for them, the challenge is, of course, then to not only connect out there with the people in terms of the opportunities, but also to understand how they will increase the capacity to deliver. So that is really the balance, sort of opportunities times capacity gives you the results. And if one of them is high and the other is low, you're not going to get a good result. If both of them are more or less in balance, you're more likely to get a good result. So that is also one of the topics that we cover in the book a bit. We talk about luck there and how you can create more luck. But yeah, I mean, read the book. It is there to be read, and on that website you can also buy it.
Christoph?
Yes.
I think, would you like to share with our listeners just that you've sort of put in, or we have a preview for them in our December edition, and they can sort of look out for that?
In the December edition, remind me quickly. There's a story in there, no? So yeah, in the December edition of Small Business Connect, we've got a page where we write about this. So I'm not sure, Herman, have we lost you? Are you missing enough?
Still, yeah.
Are you stunned by what I said?
I'm just trying to get my brain to go left and right. Is he telling the truth? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Nsiki's internet connection is really kind of neglecting the valuable insight that she's got. But yes, I mean. Oh, you're still there. Great, that's good to know. So yeah, but that's basically what I would contribute tonight. We can look into a more involved and thorough presentation on what we say in the book and how to use the flow canvas at a future date.
Thank you very much for that, Christoph. Built to sell, creating a business that will thrive even without you. I think that's really great. So if you want to know how to run a healthy business, do pick up that book. And I think it's really great insight. And I look forward to perhaps exploring that idea of doing online workshops with people. We are almost out of time, so I'd like to bring on Kobani, who is our finance genius, who can tell you things that you need to know about running your business. He has another exciting finance tip for us tonight. Kobani, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
What is happening on your end in the world of finance? What and tips can you give us tonight?
Okay. Well, my tip today is on something called that. Actually, Christoph, that gave me an idea. Man, we know ourselves. So we are of VAT, of not paying VAT in time. So my focus today will be on the pitfalls of not paying VAT over in time, because we know we end up being in a lot of trouble. SARS doesn't take this thing easy.
Lightly. Yes.
So if you owe them money, oh boy, they're going to come after you. Okay. Obviously, let's just talk about this, in detail. See, the problem is that now, as we carry on with our business, We invoice clients, pay, and then we charge VAT, some of us, because our turnover is over R1 million per annum. So now, instead of because we have to pay VAT over every 2 months, instead of paying the money over, we want to keep it a bit because maybe we've got cash flow problems. We're still waiting for that one client that is still going to pay us before we can be able to pay over the VAT. What happens now if we don't pay in time? We attract penalties, we attract interest that we have to pay together with the VAT that is outstanding. And now, as that continues, we become trapped now in this vicious cycle, which is going to be difficult to break.
Yeah.
And we start paying late penalties as it goes on. Now we come to a point where we cannot even pay the VAT anymore. And then what happens to that? It accumulates before we know it, the big money that we owe SARS. And then what happens then after that? Because SARS, as they look at your account, they see this guy has been invoicing and nothing is coming on our way. What's happening? So we need to go and get our money back from this guy. So we need to be careful now, because really, I know a lot of people, we all are here, we don't pay the money in time, and that's a lot of trouble. So I normally call this an unauthorized overdraft facility from SARS. Keep the money for 2 months before you pay it over. So
yeah,
it mostly, yeah.
What does a small business owner do? When you have all these things demanding your attention and certain things may fall by the wayside, what do people do to sort of make sure that they do make those payments in time and they keep on top of their taxes and they make sure that what's invoiced is paid to the tax man and everything keeps running and they avoid that vicious cycle?
Yeah, you see, the main thing, basically, you need to plan this. You know that you pay that in certain periods. So you need to be somewhere, on the wall or somewhere. You need to be able to know that when is the payment due, so that you know that you're not going to miss that. I know it's, one will say, why don't then you as you invoice, get the money, and then you put it aside until it's that time that you have to pay it over to SARS. So it's going to be difficult, to do that. But if you can, then you can do it. But the main thing is that you must have you must have reminders in your calendar, in your computer. You must have a reminder as well in your phone. So they must be around everywhere. So that you know that you need to pay that over, because now the SARS doesn't say you pay it over on a month. They give you time. Even those that trade that sell products on credit, they give them enough time to be able to collect that money and pay it over. So now you need to plan that, because most people do not think that it belongs to them. It's part of their sales. So they will use it for their problems, and then they will see SARS when they put money next time.
They forget about the tax man.
No, that if you continue to do that, I promise you fall in the trap that you'll be
motion for tax.
So that's basically what I wanted to share with people today. If you don't pay SARS, you're asking for trouble. Okay.
So, Kobani, are there any accounting or SARS programs or products that are available that people can use to track their tax portion through to be banking that money to pay over to the tax man at the end of that period?
Remember, you do your own calculations, you see. So depending on which tax type you registered for. So if you don't have, if you're battling to do your calculations, you can always phone the toll-free number of SARS. They can also, if you don't understand, ask questions. They can explain to you how to go about doing things. But in most cases, people appoint tax practitioners, people who are registered as tax practitioners, who's going to take care of all their tax in terms of income tax, VAT, and pay as you earn, so that everything is sorted out by the accountant. I don't know if that answers your question, Siggy.
Yes, it does. Just on that aside note, for people that are starting out in business and they're not sure what the rates are, is there sort of a
you're breaking
for somebody?
Vicky, I didn't hear you breaking.
I was asking if there's to give people an idea of how much would administer the tax.
How much is involved in administering tax?
In terms of,
is that what you're asking?
Hiring a tax practitioner. Yes.
Cost that is involved for that. You see, most people, let me say, most provide that service as a package. Okay, I'll do your management accounts and also do your tax stuff. Then this is so much the fee that I will charge for you. So it's always about the question of agreeing with the person in terms of how much a fee of about 500 rand a month, and even more depending on how much work that person is going to do. But obviously you have to provide the information that the person will use to complete the returns.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kobani. I think that's a very useful tax tip. If you do not want to get into set as a tax man and make sure you pay over what is due to SARS so you can continue in doing great business. We really appreciate your input, Kobani.
Okay.
Okay, in the interest of time, I just want to get our final feedback from everybody to just hear what their input is. Christoph, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. I just wanted to quickly reflect on the question that we asked people in terms of today's question, in terms of the top priorities that the master plan for small business growth should have. I've myself put good internet access at the top, and I will keep putting it at the top. In fact, number 1, 2, and 3 for me will be good internet access. But I see we had some interesting comments about finance being an issue, but not the main issue, and that perhaps internal issues in small businesses and the capacity of small businesses to grow through increasing the internal capacity are issues to deal with. Also that small business growth is not only a BEE issue, but it's a business development issue, that support in marketing and linkages in the marketplace are issues that small businesses need to deal with, and so on. So there were some quite interesting, if you page through the comments after today's call, that you would see, and the people that were that joined us today raised. But yeah, for the rest, that's all from me today. I really enjoyed the call, apart from the frustrating moments where we couldn't hear, or when it sounded like someone was diving underwater speaking. Hopefully we'll be able to in the future have more stable internet connections when we have this call. But that's all for me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christoph, and I do hope we can continue that conversation on Facebook and just hear what the general consensus is. Nabila, are you still with us? I'm not sure if Nabila is there. Marcel, I know you have a really good connection. Is there anything you'd like to tell us, having sat in on as a secret guest on our show tonight?
Secret guest, haha. No, nothing. I mean, it's been fun to work on, actually join in on this show for a change. And I think we need to find out a way to test internet connections or get stable lines, because it works when it's working. But the content's been great. You can only go from strength to strength.
so much, Marcel. And I'm sure you might be getting a lot of info messages for people wanting to know how to manage back-end things and all the fantastic IT stuff you were telling us about earlier on. Gobani, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
What is the final wrap-up on your end?
Well, for me, I'll just say, with the year that, it's coming to an end, it's only days. I'm thinking of counting days now till we wrap up 2014. Some of us are looking forward to the holidays, to take a break. But for some, it's becoming now a hectic season where now they just have to make money for the last time. So for us, it's been a great journey. And hoping that, as we go further, we'll learn more things, get better, and we give advices where we can. We'll inspire people to go in there and make things happen. So for me, I would just say, let's just hang in there. Let's just push forward. Success will eventually come.
I definitely agree with that. Thank you very much, Tovani. And indeed, in the breath, waiting for the leave date, while others are frantically scrambling. Gail, are you? Herman, are you there?
Hi, I'm here, and yeah, thank you very much once again for a beautiful show, guys. I share your sentiments as well. The internet was not friendly with us tonight, but we managed to pull it through. And thank you very much for our guest, Bongi Weshongwe from Risk and Reward. Marcel, nice to have a chat with you. I hope we're going to get you again. Christoph, the team, Kobani, Nabila, Ntiki, as always, thank you very much.